The Western Cape, a beautiful region with Cape Town as the capital. Besides the beauty of the natural settings, there is also an overwhelming need in the poorer districts. Research in the last 30 years has provided substantial evidence that the environment in which children spend their first years has enormous consequences in their later cognitive, emotional, and physical development. Social scientists estimate that half of all intellectual development potential is established by the age of 4, and that by school age, children have already been largely prepared to succeed or underprepared to fail. Education and mental stimulation in the first years of life, along with basic healthcare and adequate nutrition, are the crucial determinants of the intellectual growth essential for success at school and achievement later in life.
One of the problems in South Africa is that obviously due to the long period of apartheid, during which there was really no education for the large masses of education, nothing to speak of, that there is enormous catch-up to be done, and we've got a huge problem.
Only about 10% of children under 6 are enrolled in full-day preschool programs. In Belgium, France, Denmark and Italy, by comparison, the figure is about 80%.
Grade R, the R stands for reception, and this is the year before children enter formal schooling. In South Africa, a very small percentage of children actually attend grade R. There are limited government funds, and in fact, very little of it actually goes to grade R. There's such huge problems in the South African educational system as a result of all the years of apartheid. The problem is, of course, is that if you don't start with the right foundation, you actually never catch up.
Much of the preschooling which does occur takes place in cramped, dilapidated and unhygienic conditions, with problems ranging from inadequate lighting to lead paint contamination. The end result is that many 6- and 7-year-olds enter the formal schooling system drastically unprepared, which results in frustration and poor learning, and high rates of grade repetition, failure and dropping out.
Looking at the current situation within South Africa, a lot of these grade R learners are actually pushed out of these primary schools to make provision for the grade 1s, grade 2s and grade 3s. And meaning that these grade R learners at the end need to go into the community. And in the communities you find there's no alternative accommodation available.
With this situation as a reality, it was obvious that something needed to be done, and fast. All it would take was one bright idea, and so the Edutainer was born, a simple, efficient and cost-effective way of supplying grade R teaching facilities to communities in need across South Africa.
Here's a container. It's 12 meters long and it's 2.6 meters wide. That's it. Nothing else. You can't do anything about that. But given those constraints, what is it that you'd put into it to make it an effective preschool? Anything. Just forget about budget. Just every single thing that you want. And they started describing what they needed. And this was the kind of flooring they needed so it could be kept hygienic and easily cleaned. These are the kind of shelves they needed. This is the kind of cupboard they needed. They wanted soft board and chalkboard but set in steel so it wouldn't break. They wanted hooks at the right level for children. They wanted insulation because they'd often be in remote areas, could get very hot. And so we developed the whole concept as a package school, as it were, for grade Rs.
You place the Edutainer at the primary school, and this is where you can actually accommodate these grade R learners. And it's so important because this is where you lay the foundation for our future learners, for our future leaders, etc.
Why our school needed an Edutainer? Simply because we were bursting at the seams with our numbers. From the department side, we are expected to have 30 to 35 in a class. We were sitting with 50 learners in a class, and we have 3 classes, and that would say about 50 in each class, which meant that we had 150 grade R learners.
Rural areas like Ashton, a small village in the Robertson Wine Valley, suffer from severe problems such as alcohol and drug abuse and a lot of violence. We simply need to protect these children and make sure they receive structured education. The Prospect Primary School is a no-fee school as parents cannot afford to pay school fees, and though grade R classes in big cities are incorporated in the schools, in rural areas they are not. This affects the results on numeracy and literacy. The best solution is an edutainer that will not only provide a safe and caring environment, but also contribute towards social upliftment and assist Grade R learners to be well prepared to face the challenges of formal schooling. In order for the edutainer's concept to become a success, to really achieve something magical, it is vitally important that there's a cooperative and cohesive effort between 4 equally important groups, 4 pillars of success. The first pillar is the non-government organization that specializes in early childhood development.
They are able to identify an appropriate site. They are often involved in teacher training themselves, and if not, they certainly know where the teachers have been trained.
The second pillar is the recipient school.
There's a huge demand for edutainers, so one has to select the right place for them to go. One of the most important things is that it goes to, whether it's a single teacher, whether it's an institution, whether it's a school, that has always, in spite of the odds, they've already managed to achieve something. If you use that criteria to select, then clearly when they got resources, they're going to be even more successful.
The third pillar is Bright Kid Foundation itself, which is in charge of overseeing the entire process from construction through to placement. And finally, the fourth pillar is the donor, the help without which nothing would be possible.
Stonecracker has been very involved in funding edutainers in the Western Cape, and as some of their members live in the Western Cape, they're very familiar with the environment, familiar with the need, and this is the kind of donor who makes the whole project successful. This is not daycare, this is a proper reception year which has got a planned curriculum, has got specific educational toys, has a specific program which is taught.
When they come to grade 1, they want to play, and there's no time for that then. So yeah, they can play and learn and do everything they want to do before they go to grade 1.
Those children who receive that structured education are much more likely to succeed in later life. First of all, as they enter formal school, they can cope, they're already prepared for the concepts. And this goes right through, they're much more likely to get a job. The girls are much less likely to become pregnant when they're teens, obviously because they've got a future and they're looking after themselves. There's a whole series of statistics that follow and are absolutely crystal clear as far as Grade R is concerned.
We need to create safe environments, and I feel that a safe environment is a school.
This is our little home. I call this our home because we're one family. We're family and we're happy.
Sometimes we try to do things on our own, and if it's not working, we think that we fail. But if we can reach out to others and if we can work together, we can really make a difference in the lives of these young children.
Edutainers offer an ever-expanding opportunity for young learners to make their futures a success. With your help, we can make those futures a reality and help make South Africa a brighter place with Bright Kid Foundation and Stonecracker.
Ja, Stonecrackers, baie dankie.
Because some stones need cracking. So let's hit a few for the bright kids of South Africa.